No, it's okay. I'm here.
Okay, got it.
Oh, good. Thank you for starting with me. Spencer, two questions. I guess first, how excited are you, for this upcoming season, just to show what you can do?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm feeling good right now. I know it's early, but I'm just pretty much trying to ride this into season and into game starting next week and see what we can do.
And I guess a follow-up that has nothing to do with that, but I hear that you're an amateur magician. Is this true?
Not even a little bit. So I can't believe that's the thing that stuck with me. My buddies and I in college, we had to fill out your like hobbies or whatever on the beginning of the year little form sheet. And we all just put something different. And that was what I put. And here we are, and it's still with me. So I'm sorry to say that's not true.
Which means you can't even do like a single trick.
I know a couple card tricks, but they're nothing special.
Thanks.
All right, let's go to Scott Lauber and then Jeff Skaversky.
Hey, Spencer. When you got home last year after the season and you were able to, I guess, kind of catch your breath, sit back, reflect a little bit, was there anything that stuck out to you, positive or negative, about, the 24 plus innings that you pitched in the big leagues last year?
For me, it's more just trying to flush it. I know I wasn't feeling my best physically, and that kind of trickled into mentally on the mound as well. So, it was just a matter of getting my body right and having access to good gyms and good PT. And if I know that I'm well prepared going into the season, then mentally everything will just fall in place. So that was kind of my mindset for this offseason. Was
that a kind of a product of, the weirdness of the year, that, spring training, the shutdown, the summer camp, the, going to the alternate site, or was there something more at play there in terms of why your body didn't feel quite the way it normally does?
No, I think that was a pretty big part of it. A lot of my mental aggressiveness, I don't know if that's the right word to say, but a lot of it comes from preparation. And so not having access to a full gym and my normal, what would have been routine leading up to spring training during that 3-month-ish shutdown there from the first spring training to the second spring training really did a number. And I think that was most of the lasting effects were from that last year. So yeah, I just put it behind me. I learned a bunch, kind of got that year under my belt too. So it wasn't all bad by any means for me looking at it. So I'm excited for this year.
One more, if I could, you went from last year in spring training part one, we went from talking about, they were going to build you gradually and that kind of thing after 2019 to, getting to summer camp and thinking like, well, geez, is Spencer, or, and not just you, but every pitcher, are they going to get enough innings in 2021? Seem like kind of, two sort of different things. Do you sort of look at it and say, well, I'm looking forward to a time when we are far enough past this short season that we had last year where I can think of myself and I can think of my buildup as just like any other normal pitcher who doesn't need more or less, who's just on a normal, regular routine?
Yeah, I think we're all kind of hoping for a little bit of normalcy, but all of this is so far out of our control that I'm just doing my best to, stay healthy and stick to my routine as best I can. And I know for sure that if I can do that, then good things will happen and everything else will just fall into place. So
thank you.
I haven't looked into the camera once. I'm sorry, Chris. It's
Hey,
so weird.
What's up, Spencer? How are you?
Good. How are you?
You don't need to look in the camera, man. It's all good. It's all good. I wanted to ask you about, there's the possibility of you guys could have some fans at the opener against the Braves. Obviously, as a rookie last year, maybe you only heard the Fandemic crew back there. What would it mean for you? I'm sure your parents would love to see you in person. What would that mean to you to be able to not just hear fans from the other side of the gate, but to actually play in front of fans, opening day?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it would be huge. I know that the energy would be infectious, and I think everybody is kind of hoping for that. So I mean, I know I have my fingers crossed. I know my family's planning to try to make some trips. So I hope that we can get that rolling and let people in.
And if I can follow up, do you remember hearing in any of your starts the Fandemic crew out there? And what were your memories of that?
Yeah, I think vaguely. It definitely adds having real people there. I know they had like an air horn and maybe a cowbell or something going on out there. And then honestly, even the just fan noise in the stadium, not even close to what it would be in a real year, I know, but I think I mean, we did the best with what we had. So it was great.
Thanks, man. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll go to Jimmy next and then Tim Kelly. Jim, you're muted again.
Sorry about that. Spencer, what were you feeling with your shoulder last year when you had that time on the IL, actually for the second year in a row? Was it pain, soreness, fatigue? What was it? Lack of strength?
Yeah, I think a little mix of all the above. Definitely a little bit of rotator cuff inflammation. And so it's nothing structural. I think I took a month off throwing, was doing PT a couple times a week this off season, and focused a lot on my hips. So I think a lot of it had to do with just from the shutdown, sitting more than normal leading up to spring training. My body just wasn't functioning like it should have. And yeah, for me, it was tough to battle through that and do what I could, but I'm excited for this year. I think a lot of it cleaned up this offseason, mechanically feeling good right now. And so, yeah.
Was that the same feeling you had the year before when you went on the IL in 19?
Yeah, the year before was a little different. The year before felt a little more acute, if that might be a good word for it. Last year was just, I would feel good. And then all of a sudden, when everybody saw the velo would go down during games, and it would take me a little bit longer to get warmed up. So it wasn't as sharp of a pain, like pinchy in my shoulder. It was just more of like, oh, I don't have that much there anymore, which was more concerning to me, honestly, because it was like, well, am I just a bad pitcher now? Am I going to throw slow forever? Is this like the new me, I guess? But getting away from last year and having some time off really helped. So I'm excited.
Are you confident? Because it's been 2 years in a row. Are you confident you are over this, and there's a good chance that you put yourself in a position to avoid this again this season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think being able to step back this offseason and do the PT that I did made me realize that it's not coming from my shoulder necessarily. And there are other things that I need to do other than just a little soft tissue on my shoulder that'll help keep everything else in balance, if that makes sense.
Sure. And you brought up the velocity and am I going to throw this slow forever? I mean, where are you now? Because I mean, hey, the gun ain't everything this time of year, but I'm sure you'd like to see a nice robust number to put your mind at ease, right?
I actually haven't looked myself, but nobody's come up to me in a panic saying, how do you feel? Are you hurt? Whatever. So I think the numbers are good. I haven't seen them myself. I know they've had the Rapsoda out there for my last couple bullpens, so they're around somewhere and somebody knows, but that person's not me. But I feel good.
You feel like you're really letting it go good?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a feeling that I was searching for all of that last year, and it just wasn't the same coming out. So I'm happy with where I'm at right now.
What do you think the plan is for you on April 1?
I have no idea. I'm just happy to be here and looking forward to the game starting.
When they went out and signed Chase Anderson and Matt Moore, ostensibly for 4 or 5, did you take that as maybe that they weren't planning on having you in the big leagues, or did you take that as possibly a lack of confidence in you, or a statement that they didn't think you were ready?
I don't know. Everybody needs pitchers. I think that I know if I take care of what I need to take care of, and if I can keep my shoulder feeling good and just do what I know I can do, then everything else will happen and I don't have to worry about anything. So
sounds good. Thanks so much.
You got it.
Hey, Spencer, just building off of that, considering you only threw 24 innings last year, you might be asked to throw more innings this year than the last 2 years combined. How many innings do you think you're going to be able to push to this year? And is there a specific number you've talked about with Joe?
I haven't heard of any specific numbers. I know that the way I feel right now, I feel better than probably the last 3 years going into spring training. So physically, I feel ready for whatever they throw at me, and honestly, whatever I need to do, I'll be prepared. So it's a good feeling.
How do you kind of stay all in when there's a chance that at some point either you'll be at AAA or you'll have a start skipped, whatever? How do you stay all in on the season when you have that looming over you?
It's easy to get caught up in that, but I think if I just take it day by day and stay in my routine, and it sounds cheesy, but control the controllables and take care of my business and do whatever I need to do, then all those outside factors are really outside of what I can control. So that's my approach, is just you can't really worry about that, because if you do, then other things are going to start to spiral. So
thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And we have time for one more. We'll finish up with Matt Breen.
Hey, Spencer. I know you said you don't know where you're going to be on April 1st, but Joe said there's a chance that you'll be in the rotation. If you are in the rotation on opening day, do you think it's realistic that you could be in the rotation in September and stay and, carry that role for an entire season?
Yeah.
With a workload.
Yeah, absolutely. I know everybody's real big on previous year's innings and things, but I think with the way that I feel now and really hammering the routine that I have right now and keeping things just kind of clean mechanically throughout the year, I think that wouldn't be a problem. Certainly in my mind, that's not what's looming over me. So, yeah, I think that's realistic.
In previous year's innings, do you think the 24 and a third is almost an inaccurate number because it doesn't account for what you might have done at the alternate site or what you did during spring training 2.0 and maybe in between starts you were doing stuff? In your head, do you feel like you threw more than 24 and a third last summer?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. From all the work that we did the first spring training, and then, nobody knew how long the shutdown would be. So we kind of kept that rolling, at least for a little bit here, when the complex was open during the shutdown last year. So to me, it felt like a longer year than 24 and the third. Now that I'm saying it, it sounds like no innings at all, but it certainly felt like more of a workload than that. So I feel prepared for this year, no matter what it is.
Thanks, Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Spencer, thank you so much for joining us.
You got it.
And as I said, everybody else, it's up to you. If you want to remain on, it'll be the same link for Joe at 1:00. Or if you want to sign off and sign back on, then that's fine too. It'll be live. So we will see you at 1:00.